Day 30 of the cleanse, son. Time to drink some scotch.
Put your best headband on and drink some scotch.
Yep, I got my headband rocking. Looking like fucking Mark Sanchez up in this motherfucker.
Mark Sanchez.
Be throwing interceptions before you know it.
Oh.
So it's nice. It's nice.
It's nice.
No Nazi food cleanse to deal with. Still gonna fuck shit up. Because, everything in moderation, even moderation. Right, Sam?
No. I like excess.
Always. In excess, like that band from the 80s?
No.
No.
Excessive amounts of things.
Hey, you should go through my progress for the 30-day cleanse. Since we have to jot it down, I thought I'd share it with you. Show you the difference.
How big your penis get?
I didn't measure that. I should have.
Yeah, right.
I really didn't. But I bet you the
10 fathoms.
Yep. The more fat I lose from the base of my cock, I'm assuming it makes it look an inch bigger for every 10 pounds you lose. That's simple math. Simple math.
It was weird. It was 4 feet.
But when I started this thing 30 days ago, I was tipping the scale at 350. That's a big motherfucker.
Is that just because that's as big as the scale would actually go?
No, it went up to 400.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't tip it out.
Well, that's at least a good feeling.
Yeah. Yep.
Because the time when you step on a scale and go, oh, I need another scale, that's when reality kind of strikes you, and you're like, oh, Jesus, I'm a fat motherfucker.
No shit. If I'd have stepped on it and just zeroed, like, oh, fuck.
It just looks at you, a digital readout says, ouch.
Exactly. Usually it just says E.
Uncle.
Yeah. Well, it's like, when I stepped on it, because that was the first time I'd been on a scale in fucking years, and it freaked me out how quick that fucking dial just whipped right past 280, past the zero. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Let me get my other foot on.
No shit.
Jesus.
I know, it's just ridiculous. Then I realized my gut was on the towel rack.
Yeah, exactly. Pulled a homer.
Fuck. I was pushing 400. No, my fat ass was tilting that at 350, and as of this morning, 308.
Nicely done.
42 pounds in just over 4 weeks. Pretty good, and I pretty much lost 3 inches everywhere because they make you measure your body before you do it and stuff like that. So pretty much
healthy.
I lost 3 inches everywhere except for my calves because they were never fat.
Well, that's the funny part about fat people is usually they have really nice legs because it has to support all that fat.
Yeah, and the sad thing is I would go to the gym twice a day, but I would be drinking 12 goddamn dark beers and eating like a goddamn savage. I was probably putting away 5,000 to 7,000 calories a day.
Welcome to my life.
And now the whole time
I ate a muffin before I came over here.
This whole time I haven't eaten more than 900 calories in a day.
Yeah,
I
don't think I could do that.
Today I grizzled it pretty good. I was over 1,500 calories because this is pretty much the end of the cleanse. So I was like, I'm gonna get back to normal fucking eating habit that I'm not feeling like I get lightheaded every time I stand up.
Yeah,
that's not a good sign, I don't think.
No, that's why those kind of dramatic weight losses like that, they seldom ever stick, and they're usually not very healthy.
Oh, exactly. And the whole thing is it's probably gonna stick because I don't plan on really changing too much. I mean, pretty much the only thing I'm going to add to what I was doing this entire month
is chocolate cake.
No, fucking Scotch whiskey. I got to learn how to love vodka. Because that's probably the healthiest alcoholic beverage you can have. Is vodka, water,
delicious.
With a twist of lime.
Fuck that.
I need to get find a good vodka that doesn't taste like vodka.
It's got to be vodka and some kind of fruit juice. That way it's healthy for you.
No, but all that added sugar to the fruit juices.
Yeah, whatever. It's good sugars.
It's good sugars. Yeah, because I ate 1,527 calories today, and I even counted the scotch that I'm going to drink. I even put that in there. So,
I weighed the bottle.
No, because it has it in there for every 2 ounces of Glenlivet's to 138 calories and shit like that. So I've got it all dialed in. 1,527 calories, and the sad part is I've already exercised 1,385 calories away.
Nice.
That's how much I've exercised today. Just from because I go in the morning and then at night, and then I went for a bike ride, and then I went to the gym after work for a half an hour. Plus I went for like a mile-long walk during my lunch break. So it's just been like, good God, man, I could just gorge like a son of a bitch the way I'm going. I had to prepare for my scotch night.
So you're going to be one of those people from now on that counts everything you fucking intake, huh?
Yeah, that app, that MyFitnessPal app.
Put in 20 calories a day just for breathing air or what?
Oh, shit. Well, it's got, because now that upgraded to the new iPhone from the old 4, not even the 4S, kid. I just got rid of that last
I have
week.
no idea what that means.
Well, basically, it doesn't have Siri, so it was so old, it didn't even have, hey, can I talk to you, phone, which came out fucking 8 years ago. Yeah, that phone didn't even have it. That's how much... I should have been in the dark ages, skipping that son of a bitch across the river Styx for how old that thing was. Fuck. But the only good part is now is the pedometer, so that also keeps track.
Yeah, I've got one of those on my phone.
Yeah, because that's what got me into like, oh shit, because you kept telling me how you always kind of keep track of your pedometer of how much you walk throughout the day and shit. And I was like, fuck, that'd be handy.
Thing always tells me I'm overweight.
Yeah, and then this, with the app too, it links right into it so that it'll just, the miles you walk or the steps you take, it'll like do a calorie adjustment and then take it off what you ate. So you can, so it's I'm going to be like a Jenny Craig calorie counting cunt.
Wow. That was a lot of...
But see, it's threes and then with C sounds. That's funny.
Yeah.
I think that's in joke writing 101. It's gotta be the threes and you gotta use C's.
Well, if it's not, we should make it.
All right, we should write a comedy book.
Write a comedy book?
Yep.
What do we know about comedy books?
We could tell people who suck at comedy. We'll just call people out. Be like, these people do it right, and then just a list of names. These people suck. It'll be a pamphlet, not so much a book.
First on my list, got to be Dane Cook.
It'll be more like a flyer, front and back. How would that taste? Like a blueberry muffin?
No, like a chocolate muffin with scotch.
I want a blueberry muffin from...
Very interesting combination.
Goddamn Perkins. One of their mammoth muffins.
Mammoth.
Aren't they called mammoth muffins?
Yeah, they are.
Okay, good.
And they're also mammoth in calories.
How much? Do you know? Does it have it listed?
I don't know if I believe it too much, but at the one point they were telling me that just like the basic ones, like the blueberry and raspberry ones, are like 600 calories.
Holy fuck.
I have no idea if that's true or not,
But I've also heard that eating a muffin is worse for you than eating a fucking cake.
Probably.
Like, I'm not even sure if they're talking like a piece of it or the fucking entire cake.
We're talking sheet cake.
Like office
sheet exactly.
Cake. Feed 100 of them motherfuckers except for Milton.
Yeah, well, then they shouldn't have made muffins so damn good.
That's true. I'm a sucker for a blueberry muffin. All the other muffins for the birds.
No.
Blueberry?
No.
Primo.
There's some good ones.
Oh, scratch that. I just slapped myself for saying that. Because that peanut butter cup one that you brought me.
That's what I had tonight.
Oh, my fucking God.
Yeah.
And you're not a sweets kind of guy at all.
But that thing's insane.
Because this one's not that sweet.
No.
Really, it's more just rich.
A lot of peanut butter.
A lot of peanut butter.
Yeah.
You know what's great about this time of year? Reese's eggs. The peanut butter eggs.
Not big on them.
Why? You just don't like the peanut butter to chocolate ratio?
Not big on regular Reese's either.
Really?
So
those are the best because they have...
On a really hot night, if you put them in the freezer, they're bomb. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm not really a candy bar kind of guy, so...
Me neither, but I just enjoy the giant Reese's because there's so much more peanut butter than chocolate. It's like the perfect ratio. It's like the fun-sized nutty... Not the nut rolls. The fun-sized nut rolls are like the perfect ratio of peanut, caramel, and whatever that nougat bullshit is.
I think it's nougat.
It's like a fluffy, marshmallowy, nougaty deliciousness.
No, whatever it is pretty good.
But see, those are perfect. The actual full size gets a little sickening towards the end.
Yeah, and the king size are just salty.
Yeah.
Like, there's way too much
those
salt.
Fun size are just, like, perfect. I'm like, nailed it. Technology has peaked, people. Let's stop.
And here I was thinking that you were the kind of guy that was like, that's not fun size. Fun size would be like my arm.
Yeah, that I would have that mentality, but it's also candy, and I can't eat that much candy.
Yeah.
And when you just get the taste dialed, there's no arguing with that. Just dialed.
So you're saying that it's a lot better to just eat like 15 of those little fuckers than it is a regular one?
Absolutely. Because it's the perfect.
I do agree with you on that one, because there is a differential, like, of that's part of the reason why I don't like eating pies, is there's just way too much pie. And everybody knows that the best part of a pie is the very end of it, where you get the crust, and usually there's like a whipped cream layer that's on the end of it, so that end part of it is always the best piece of the pie. But I have to eat all the other shit to get there. Can't I just eat the end and leave the rest?
Isn't that what those fruit pies were, essentially?
What?
You remember those Mickey's fruit pies when you were a kid?
Oh, yeah, those were nasty.
Dude,
those were fucking nasty. It was like jelly inside.
Like the custard ones. My mom used to get them from, like, that thrifty bakery, so they'd be, like, 2 days expired.
I know exactly.
Like, here, I got 30 of them. Oh, really?
I remember I let my mom talk me into eating one of those chocolate ones, because she was like, "No, you'll like it. Try a bite."
Chocolate one.
Yeah, I took a bite of that. Oh my god, I wanted nothing to do with those things ever since that. Like, the apple ones weren't so bad.
Yeah.
But after eating that chocolate one, I just couldn't bite into any others, because it was just one of those things where that muscle memory, you were just like, no, I don't care what's inside that. I remember one time when I bet that, and it was nasty. And I still can't get that fucking smell taste. Like, if you give me one of those little pies, I'll instantly get that smell taste combination thing working, where you're just like, oh, that's a bad memory. I have tried to forget that.
Your tongue swells up and you start salivating, where you just get that, like, I'm gonna throw up.
Yep,
I'm gonna throw up. The cherry ones always freaked me out, because it was like some little midget was just emptying out those cherry Cordal things, those chocolate covered cherries, and just dumping the innards inside of a pie crust. It was just so gelatinous, and it wasn't fucking natural.
Like I said, it's like eating jelly.
Like petroleum jelly, not like Schmuckers, like goddamn preservers.
Jelly. Nothing like a little Petro donut.
Dude, it was like cherry KY.
Cherry KY. Oh my god.
I've had plenty of that in my mouth.
I was young and needed the money.
Fuck it.
That was last week. I'm a week older, aren't I?
At least it didn't taste like cock.
Yeah. You can't tell me I've sucked cock. Have I sucked cherry filling off of cock? Yes. But I never sucked the cock. Okay, now we know your mentality on game position.
Yeah.
As long as there's a barrier between me and cock, I'm okay with it.
It has to be a fruity, delicious pie filling layer. Because I'm not.
What's a handy between clients?
Oh my god.
Anything to get the sale. Oh man, yeah, I think we sailed that one as far as we could go on that wind.
Speaking of sodomy,
how
about Phil?
Good segue.
How about that Duck Dynasty motherfucker?
Oh my god, that.
Should I read what he said, just for the people that have no idea what we're talking about?
Yeah, because I sent it to you.
Yeah, because I have it pulled up. I've got it all ready to go. So apparently, Phil Robertson, out of the Duck Dynasty douchebags, was in Florida.
Mind you, this is the same guy that was talking about if we legalize gays, they're going to all recruit, everybody to be gay, and then Sodom and Gomorrah is going to look like a garden.
Oh.
Like, that's the guy that made those outrageous claims that if we allow gays, we're going to lose our way of life, we're going to lose everything. Everything!
One of his claims was not outrageous, where he said pussy feels better than butt. And I agree.
Yeah, I'd have to agree as well.
I prefer to fuck a pussy than a butthole. But sometimes they're on their period. What do you do? But okay, he was in Florida.
Fuck their sister. I mean...
Oh, whoa. But he was...
This isn't on tape, is it?
Oh, got that out. Shit, actually, we don't edit any of these.
No,
You're
we
fucked.
don't. Yeah, exactly. I'm not noting the time on that
Yeah,
one at
exactly.
all. What do you mean the time? It's almost 8 o'clock. No, I mean...
So he's in Florida, of all places, for a prayer breakfast. And he was talking about sin, good, and evil. And he had a brutal story about an atheist. And this is his quote. His story was, 2 guys break into an atheist's home. He has a little atheist wife and 2 little atheist daughters. 2 guys break into his home and tie him up in a chair and gag him. Ball gag him, probably. That fucking... I think he's closet homosexual.
Yo.
And then they take his 2 daughters in front of him and rape both of them and shoot him. And then they take his wife and then decapitate her head off in front of him.
I loved how he used decapitate her head off.
Yeah, it's like redundant.
So you speed up real fast?
Yeah. And they can look at him and say, isn't it great that I don't have to worry about being judged? Isn't it great that there's nothing wrong with this? There's no right or wrong now, is it, dude? He continued, then you take a sharp knife and take his manhood and hold it in front of him and say, wouldn't it be something if this was something wrong with this? And that's his mispronunciation of all that. But you're the one who says there is no God, there's no right, there's no wrong. So we're just having fun. We're sick in the head. Have a nice day. If it happened to them, they probably wouldn't say something about this just ain't right.
I have no idea what that last part
Me
means
neither.
at all. If it happened to them, they probably wouldn't just say something just isn't... That just doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah, they'd say something about this just ain't right. No, they'd be like, who the fuck are these sociopathic assholes?
Yeah.
I would venture to guess they probably just did this in the name of some god.
Huh?
Not in the name of no god.
Well, that'd be my first rebuttal to his outrageous claim there, and this is being an atheist. I would love to have a conversation with him on this, of just asking him the simple aspect of, so if you're a Christian, devout like you say you are, what is the greatest part about being a Christian? The aspect that you can do whatever the fuck you want, and at the end of the day, all you have to do is take it to God and say you're sorry, and He'll absolve you of all that sin. But if you're an atheist like I, and you do something like that, I have to live with myself for the rest of my life for everything that I just did.
Dude, that is a brilliant point of view. Because you could do that exact same story to him and be like, okay, I'm going to tell you about this little Christian who's got these 2 little Christian daughters, and then these two Christians come in and do all this and says, hey, guess what? On Sunday, I just have to ask forgiveness and nothing happens to me. Isn't that great? Brilliant. Never even thought of it like that. Holy shit. And why don't any of these fuckers that get paid to write criticisms of this cunt even come up with that idea themselves?
I have no idea.
Fucking
that
A,
was
man.
my first thought of this whole thing was, really, you're going to give me that bullshit? And not only that, but in your little scenario there, it doesn't seem like the people that are perpetrating it are the atheist, because you said he was the atheist, she was the atheist, the girls were the atheist. So the people that were doing this were doing it to make a point that you're an atheist, correct?
So they're persecuting.
So this has now become a hate crime as well as a religious crime. So let's just see. Well, do you think another atheist would come into a place and go, oh, you're a fucking atheist, I'm going to kill your children and all this shit?
Yeah.
Really? So your whole story, its basis, and I'm just going to say this right now, is absolutely moronic. That people would do this just because he's an atheist, first of all. And the next thing I would really like to just bring up on this one is, has anybody ever told this guy about the Crusades? Let's say the Spanish Inquisition. Let's just put it to you this way, something a little closer to home for this little hick fucker. The Salem witch trials.
Or how about ISIS? Let's bring it current. It doesn't have to be just Christians. He's talking atheists.
Let's talk about the Hale-Bopp Comet or Halley's Comet or whatever that.
Scientology.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to start talking about the shit that people do ironically or stupid just because of a belief, you're not going to be talking about the atheists. The atheists don't do things because of a belief. We do things because It's life.
And the underlying thing that scares me the most about his comments, was he just automatically goes in his head that if you weren't raised with the Bible telling you what to do, you're too stupid to figure out what's right and wrong.
Yep.
Are the atheists the ones that are stupid, or is it the religious people that are too fucking stupid to just deduce in their own head, or to have parents that were educated enough to just teach them right and wrong without using a boogeyman to scare them to do it? But no, they're too goddamn ignorant to just listen to reason and understand that it just makes fucking sense to treat other people how you'd want to be treated.
Really? Yeah.
But they have to have a boogeyman that scares them in with this consequence when they die for them to act like normal fucking human beings. That's insulting as shit to me.
Not only that, but I mean, I've thought about this many a time on my previous positions with, well, Lutheranism in general, because that's what I used to be. The whole aspect of actually believing in something is so much easier than not believing in something. And the reason that I say that isn't because something drives me to say there is another out there, or, you know, deductive reasoning would tell me that there's nothing out there. What I'm trying to say is, the fact of the matter is, in believing in something, you have this idea of the happy ever after. You have an idea of the fairy tale ending.
Yeah.
You know, you get your mansion in the sky, you get all this cool shit.
Your dog from you were 12 is back with you.
Yep. So the aspect of believing, and this is pretty much any organized religion, because they all tell you that you're going to have a fucking fairy tale ending. Mm-hmm. As long as you believe hard enough, you know, in true in your heart, you're gonna get this.
And as long as you strap that C4 vest on.
Yep.
No, I'm just kidding.
So the aspect of an organized religion is so just intoxicating for what it gives you overall. But I was always taught, and this is where it kind of makes weird explanation, because my dad was a believer till the day he died.
Yeah.
But I was always taught by my dad, if it's too good to be true, chances are it's not true. And if you look at all the promises that any organized religion doles out to you, this isn't the end. You'll have life again, whether it's an afterlife, born again to something. They don't, nothing ever tells you, no, this is it. You should cherish this for what it's worth, because you don't have an eternal life afterwards. And that's the big differential on what brought me to being an atheist and not a believer in anything. Is the fact of the matter is, nobody that's in that organized religion actually has the capacity to believe that this is it. Use this for what it is.
Yeah, the only people that even come close to that would be Buddhists.
And they still believe that you're reincarnated.
Exactly. They preach in the moment, but like you said, in the grand scheme of it, it's endless, and time is not linear even. So this is all happening at once.
So the one thing that atheists have over any religion is the fact that we truly do believe you get the one go-round.
Yeah.
And that's that. And I don't know why that causes so much fear to so many people, is that existence starts and ceases. And when people say, oh, that's so scary, though, what's so scary about it? Before you were born, you didn't exist, did you?
Yeah.
Were you scared then? So you probably won't be scared when you don't exist.
Think of all the time that this universe has existed, and I've only existed for 32, almost 33 years of it. And then the whole time that it has existed, and then will exist after I'm gone, and I'm hoping that I'm going to be around for 80, 90 years. But out of the grand scheme.
In that same aspect, though, think of how many guys in their teens, 20s, and early 30s have died because of the belief in a god. And the belief in something that idiots like this douche are preaching about, even though he has no fucking rhyme reason to preach. I mean, he is the ultimate epitome of false idols.
Yeah, because he was a goddamn drunk, wife-abusing, redneck piece of shit.
Yeah, whose claim to fame is his family made a duck call.
Yeah, he invented a new duck call design.
So, you're in my mind, you are just the
And I'm happy.
millionaire hillbilly gun-toting motherfucker that you are, and I shouldn't know. I just really don't understand why anybody takes anything that this guy says with a grain of salt.
And I'm happy that him finding religion helped him stop beating his wife and drinking copious amounts of moonshine or whatever the fuck he drank.
If it did.
Or what? Yeah, if it did.
It might just be the cover for, well, now I can apologize for everything I do.
Exactly. So, I mean, if that...
As long as Jesus tells me I'm okay, whooping it up.
If it helped him be a better person, amen. But now you're kind of going in the
There's
opposite.
no way of being a better person if you're out speaking on people like this.
Exactly.
First of all, there's another thing that I find funny about organized religion is just about every single one of them preaches tolerance and love.
Yeah.
Yet you never see those acts ever depicted by anybody who claims to be that. I'm religious. And you need to fucking stop fucking somebody in the ass because that's fucking gross. Well, I don't think it's gross. Well, I don't care if you think it's gross. My God tells me it's gross. Really? Where does he tell you that? Well, in my head.
Yeah.
Because when I read, I heard, what was it? The best line the other time. The Bible is just like a torture victim. If you torture it long enough, it will tell you anything you want to hear. And I heard that and I just went, oh my God, that's fucking perfect. Because that's true. If you read that bitch so much and just read into it, it will tell you whatever the hell you want to. But you really have to read between the words and not the words itself. But yeah, I loved that line though. It's just like a torture victim. Torture it enough and it will tell you what you want to hear.
Jesus Christ. That is sad but true.
It is. Any religious book you can misinterpret for anything you want to.
Well, and then the first clue is, who the fuck wrote it, who retranslated it, who re-edited it? Goddamn men in power.
Yeah.
So of course it's going to be skewed towards the whole obey the goddamn law in your government before all and all this shit. It's like, well, like you to tell me that Jesus, who kicked the money changers out of the fucking temple, is going to then go ahead and tell you Caesar is all-knowing? What? Who the fuck are you people? No.
No, but he did make a good business himself, because there's many multi-million-dollar cathedrals there are in this world. And the Roman Catholic Church being the richest landowner in the world, and not paying a goddamn tax in any country they're in.
Yeah.
And then getting a tithe of everybody's fucking income or telling them they'll go to hell. God, that was the best fucking trick that the devil ever played. Proverbial devil, mind you. Because I don't believe that motherfucker exists either.
Well, I do believe he exists, but he's probably the one.
He's just as real as Santa Claus.
No, and he probably is 100% real, but he's the stupid son of a bitch parading around as the fucking Pope, probably. The way how everything is so inverted in this fucking world. It wouldn't surprise me one fucking bit.
I wholeheartedly believe it's just like Santa Claus. It's only real because people believe in it.
Yeah.
If people didn't believe in it, there's no physical realm of it.
Have you ever thought about like the story of Adam and Eve from like the opposite perspective of where the snake was the good guy? No, not a lot. If you look at it like from the snake is the good guy, it'd basically be the snake was going into Adam and Eve, who was being basically controlled and trapped by this shallow-minded, egotistical God who wanted to keep them ignorant and trapped in their own fucking stupidity. And then the snake comes around like, hey, buddy, just take a bite of this apple and I'll blow your fucking mind. And it probably wasn't even an apple. The tree of life was probably a goddamn psilocybin mushroom. And they took that. Bro! Their mind expanded. They went into a fucking world of psychedelic trips and they saw how fucked up everything is.
Psychedelic trips.
Dude, and they're like, man, I understand.
You think the Beatles made Yellow Submarine?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
No shit. I truly think the tree of, like, knowledge is the fucking mushroom. I really do.
Well...
And maybe the snake was the good guy. Maybe the fucking, what we consider the good God is actually the fucking overlord that's trying to keep us pinned down in ignorance. Yeah. But it's the devil that wants us to be free, sir.
You know what they say. History is written by the winner.
That's true, and I think the devil is fucking won.
I can't argue a point on that one. I think you got me.
I don't know. I'm just kidding. I just always thought about that from the opposite. But I highly doubt I'm the first person to think that. That's probably the tenets of fucking like
Satanism.
Yeah, like Aleister Crowley probably came up with that bullshit theory. And I'm just pulling it out of my ass like I fucking know what I'm talking about.
A boot. Well, did you ever think of this? Maybe it's like some alien somewhere playing The Sims.
That actually, with what modern science is kind of figuring out about what creates reality, that's probably more likely of a scenario.
Yeah, they just keep getting new expansion packs, and that's what gives us cars and airplanes and all this shit. Just downloading a new expansion pack, and they're like, sweet, we got pets!
Oh, that theory has popped in my head years ago when you used to play World of Warcraft, and you upgraded your system. And then all of a sudden, when you're playing it, you're like, oh, I didn't know that the horse's tail moved and all these different graphics and little things would pop up. And when you said that, all that thought to me, it just gave me a flash of inspiration of like, holy shit, that is like our brains. Our brain, you know, everybody says our brains are like a computer. So if you don't sit there and educate yourself and enlighten yourself, you're not going to be able to see like the horse's tail moving.
Yeah.
You know, you're missing all this shit. So, you know, and we're basically...
Don't watch Fox News.
Yeah, we're basically...
the more you know.
We're basically antennas for frequencies. That's what our DNA pretty much is designed to be, is an antenna. So it's like if you're not getting tuned in with the right frequency, you could just be seeing bullshit. That's probably why people get so stuck in these like depressed delusions with themselves, where they just have this cyclical cycle because they can't imagine themselves anything better. And it is all in your fucking head. It really is.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how much I pay attention to the whole aspect of people talking about, well, it's a medical condition because the chemical imbalance in the head. And I understand there's a chemical imbalance. I understand that. I'm not debating this. What I am debating is your own mental perception of what's going on makes or breaks a chemical imbalance.
Yeah.
And the way that I mean this is, look at it this way. Go through a haunted house the first time. See how much your heart rate gets raised. Now go through it 5 more times. On that 6th time, see how much your heart rate goes up. So it's the same thing. If you're used to something, it just doesn't work anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're supposed to have that adrenaline in the fight or flight.
Oh, yeah.
So if you go through the same thing how many times, you get numb to it. Mm-hmm. And now you don't get that fight or flight response.
Yeah.
So now your chemical imbalance starts. Because you start saying, oh, well, I should have gotten this, and, you know, I really wished I would have had this. And this spirals back to the point of you can't have that now, because now you're getting down on yourself so much for doing it. It's just a never-ending cycle.
So it's like basically people trying to chase the dragon, but in, you know, materialism and status of world
I really
symbols.
think so. Because if you look at it, especially the shopaholics are the perfect example of this. Because once they get so much debt, and they can't do anything else. You can't buy anything else because every credit card you have is maxed out. You can't get any more money anywhere. What happens to them? They get so fucking depressed. Because they can't buy anything. They've gotten their hopes up so much of saying, I can buy new stuff, that'll make me happy. Now you can't buy anything new. In fact, now they're taking away the stuff that you did buy.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course you're going to get depressed, because that was your whole fucking picture of what happiness is. So what you depict yourself is what your own brain does. Mm-hmm. And anytime somebody wants to debate me on this one, I just tell them, all right, go to a room that has no light, no sound, no nothing. Just close your eyes and just repeat to yourself, I have a headache. Bet you in 2 or 3 minutes you have a fucking headache. And it's all because you told yourself that you had it. And I hate this because my wife debates me on this one because she says she's had fits with depression, and I even tell her, everybody has fits of depression. No matter who's in this fucking world, you have depression. That's a part of life. Something's taken away from you, like a father, a mother, a sibling. Something is taken away from you. That's the only reason you get depression, is because you're fucking pissed off. Selfishness. And you have no other outlet. That's what depression to me is. And yes, I have been depressed.
It's how you deal with it.
Exactly.
Is what it is.
Exactly.
Because like me personally, when I get like super depressed for like, They're like, oh, I fucking hate myself. I wish I was just fucking dead, blah, blah. You know
I'll
what?
go rub one out.
No, you know what I do? I go to the fucking gym and I run my ass on the goddamn treadmill or elliptical until I can barely breathe. And I'm like, oh, you want to fucking kill yourself? Keep going. Keep fucking going. You'll fucking die. And, just kind of use that motivation of, oh, you're so fucking, strong that you think you're blah, blah, blah. You just kind of use like fat shaming
And
yourself.
the endorphins that pump out end up naturally helping your mood.
Exactly. Then you feel, because then you're like, good, I just kicked the shit out of myself.
Yep.
Instead of doing it mentally all day, you get out there and on the track and you fucking kick the shit out of yourself physically.
But there's so many different ways of people using the depression as an example, or I'm sorry, not example, yes, excuse.
To just quit.
Not only to just quit, but to actually do something that's easier than living everyday life. Like becoming a drug addict, or becoming a full-blown alcoholic.
Fuck.
Or,
I'm teetering on that aspect a lot.
Yeah, right, you just started drinking again, but no, I'm just saying that it's one of those things. It's not the fact. I really hate the whole aspect of saying you're an alcoholic as being a disease. I believe I've said that on this show many a time. And I really do truly believe it's just a cop-out to say, oh, I can't do it, it's too hard.
Yeah, my dad died of alcoholism, and I guarantee you he would never have called it a disease.
No.
He never did, and
meeting your dad was one of the big reasons on why I can say it was bullshit. I remember us drinking a couple of beers watching the game at his place, and he even did that the one time ago. And just remember, guys, a couple of beers, okay, but when it's a couple of beers every hour, and you're doing it every day, you're going to end up like me.
Yeah.
And I still remember, that's not something an alcoholic said to somebody.
No.
That's not, if it was a disease, he would have said something.
No, if it was a disease, he'd have been stealing the beers out of our fucking hands.
Yeah.
Like a leukemia patient going for radiation.
I'm just saying it this way. If it was an actual disease that he knew, and there's no bullshit of saying that because you're dependent on something. Fuck that. That just means that you've let it take a hold of you, and it's a bigger excuse to say, well, it's easier to do this than it is to quit it.
That's true.
I know this one firsthand, quitting smoking.
Yeah.
Smoking's one of the hardest things to quit. It's harder than heroin. It's harder than a lot of shit just because it's so fucking readily available. I can get cigarettes right now at 12 different places in a 2-mile radius. I mean, it's not like I have to call a shady dealer or anything. It's a fucking well-lit, established place. And I can buy 1 pack, I can buy 800 packs, and they're still going to just give them to me.
Exactly. You don't have to, wait for 3 hours in some shady Walmart parking lot for some fucking character.
Yep. I don't have to go to the doctor for a prescription.
Yeah. That's what it needs to be with weed. Is you just need to be able to go, just like cigarettes. It needs to be readily available like that. I mean, why? I find it funny when people say that it's a disease. No, it's not a disease. Do people call smokers, is that a disease? It's being addicted, and it's all it is something that your body finds a stimulant, and after taking it for a while, your body gets accustomed to doing it, so it wants it. Yeah, because they always say alcoholism's hereditary.
I have a hard time believing that. But then again, like I said, why isn't smoking a disease if alcoholism is a disease? The only reason is because you don't kill people after smoking.
That's true.
It's just another cop-out for saying you're a fucking loser that killed somebody.
You kill them after 30 years with secondhand smoke. If there's not a direct link for you to get arrested.
That's still debated. I will honestly say that the whole aspect of the secondhand smoke, unless you're in a car with the windows up and shit like that.
It's gotta be worse. Because it's all of a sudden the shit people exhale, carbon monoxide, and cigarette smoke, that's double deadly. Because if you're just huffing a bag with cigarette smoke,
once again, though, I'm saying in a ventilated area like outside or something like that, no. If you're sitting inside with all the windows up and your chimney smoking, I can understand it.
Yeah, like at my dad's fucking joint at his place.
Oh, yeah.
Holy
Why do you think my voice sounds like this?
Yeah, I didn't even smoke a cigarette.
I probably pulled off a dozen years of my life at your dad's place.
The weirdest part was I never smoked cigarettes around my dad.
No.
I'd smoke weed with my dad and around my dad, never cigarettes, and I'd smoke cigarettes around my mom.
And you drank like a fish around your dad. We'd fucking take a case and drink a 12-pack apiece, and he'd never had a problem with that.
No, it was just cigarettes. And then I almost wanted to smoke when I was there because it was so smoky that it's almost easier for you to deal with the secondhand smoke if you're smoking yourself.
Oh, yeah.
It's like when we go over to, like, Tommy's, that one character, he'd chain smoking like a son of a shoe. He would light one with one.
And then have one burning in the ashtray and forget about it.
How the fuck could you live like that? Scratch that. How the fuck is he still alive? He runs purely on nicotine and caffeine.
Nicotine and Mountain Dew.
Yeah. Just a fucking...
With a couple shots of Yag.
And a whole lot of online gaming.
Yeah.
I just imagine he still does that. Why would he fucking change after 40 years?
You gotta give it to him, though.
He started kayaking, though, which is grizzled.
Yeah. You gotta give it to him, though. He's actually living the way he wants to live. And not too many people get to do that. I mean, it's not like he makes the rules for everything because he can't afford to do that. It's just the fact that he can pay for the things he wants to do. That's all you really...
And he doesn't really want to do much.
No. And I think that's awesome because most people in this, especially this country, always aspire for more.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get that kind of lifestyle in the aspect of just... always wanting more, always wanting... This coming from me that I'm buying a new car that everybody tells me it's going to be like pretentious for me to own it. I thought it was funny. I think I've told you this.
Yeah.
The next car I want to get is a Mercedes E350. Well, I want to get it because it's a sedan 4-door. It's got 4-wheel drive. It's got a 3.5 liter V6 engine, so it's not that bad on gas, but it still has power. You know, it's got all the things that I want. Being the Mercedes is just kind of the icing on the cake. I mean, it's got the safety rating, everything.
Well, I mean, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
If you can afford a car, wouldn't you try to get the most, like, high-performance ride you can get for your money?
And that's the thing, though, is everybody keeps telling me that if you buy a Mercedes, you're just paying for the name. And I keep looking at it going, yeah, but when I do the math on, what's out there right now, I've been looking at this, for like 3 months.
Yeah.
This is the best thing that I can find for everything I want.
Yeah, exactly.
When I have the specifics of saying, this is what I want.
Who's hating? Who's hating on you?
It's just a bunch of comments of saying, oh, you're getting a Mercedes, huh? And it's like, it's not because it's a Mercedes. It's because I went, okay, I'd like to have a 4-door sedan.
Here's a checklist.
Yeah. I'd like to have a 4-door sedan. I'd like to have a 4-wheel drive. I'd like to have some good crash tests, because that's the only thing about having a sedan that I hated was you feel a little smaller than a lot of shit out there.
And if fucking Subaru cared about the little luxuries...
Oh, my God.
You would probably get a goddamn Subaru.
Subaru is just as expensive for resale, though. So it's just looking at it going, well, either I can get all the crash test bullshit and the little luxuries with the Mercedes.
Exactly.
Or I could get the Subaru and, it's a good vehicle, but it doesn't have any of those little luxuries.
Exactly.
It's still got the crash test, it's still got the 4-wheel drive, all that, but it doesn't have the little luxuries.
Yeah, because, I mean, basically, if you're looking for... a legit vehicle for what you're describing, you got pretty much 3 fucking options.
Yeah.
And the Mercedes, granted, it's probably the most highfalutin of the 3.
Well, I'm looking
but they care about the details.
There was 4 cars that made it on my list. One was the Ford Fusion, because they have the all-wheel drive version. And then it was the Lincoln MKZ, because that has the all-wheel drive version. The Mercedes E350. And then it was the, I did look at, I guess, 2 different Subarus. I looked at the Impreza, and then what's the other one called? The Outback, I think it was, because that's their, like, half-ass SUV thing. But I looked at those 2. So I guess there was 5 different cars, but 4 different makers, I guess. And, like, it was just weird. It came down to the Lincoln and the Mercedes just because of all the shit that I wanted.
Yep.
Like, the Ford Fusions... Yeah, you might be able to get the 4-wheel drive version. Try getting a used one. Yeah. You can't fucking find them.
No.
So it's either I go to the dealership and get a lease on one, which I don't want to lease because I don't understand why anybody would do that. But either I lease one or wait a lot longer and hopefully one comes up. wasn't going to look at that. So I was looking at the LS because the Subarus, like I said, they were just as much money, but I don't think as much car. I like having those little options.
Yeah, exactly. That's the difference there. Is they care about the details, the little luxury, it's the fine touches that makes the benzo a benzo.
And it came down between the Lincoln MKZ and the Mercedes E350. And you know me, I love Lincolns.
Yep.
But after test driving the E350, I will honestly say it edged it out for me. It was a good drive. It had nothing to do with I was looking for a Mercedes.
Yeah.
I did that list where on Car Soup where you're just like, okay, I'm looking for four-door, looking for this in this price range. Boop, and they all came up. That was it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of weird, though, because after saying it, I think I found a car, and I told people, being like, oh, Mercedes. What? I didn't say I was buying a brand new one with fucking mahogany trim and shit, you know?
Yeah. It's like, you could buy any fucking, sedan for basically that price. That's quality.
You could get a Mini Cooper for $100,000, I'm pretty sure. If you wanted to spend the money, they'll fucking put it in.
That is true.
Just like at the insurance game, we used to say, if you want to pay, we'll play. We will insure absolutely anything if you want to pay for it. That's like ZZ Top. Do you know the two dudes with beards actually have their beards insured for $1 million each?
That's what, in case some terrorist cuts it off?
In case they light it on fire smoking a doob or something, I'm pretty sure. You know what I'm saying?
But really, they are on stage a good 100 feet or more from the closest person. They could easily wear a fucking fake. They've got Hollywood money. They got SNL type cash.
They've got that kind of cash, so they can insure their beards.
Idiots. That's like J-Lo insuring her ass. That's fucking bullshit.
If they shave, is that considered insurance fraud?
Hey-oh. God damn. So I came across this fucked up story that I kind of found entertaining. Apparently this woman was imprisoned in a mental hospital for 8 days and was like medicated and all these
that's an urban legend.
All these weird treatments were given on her because the authorities thought she was insane. Because this woman, what's her name? Cam Brock. She was attempting to retrieve her car from police after it was impounded. In an attempt to convince police that she was a good citizen, she told the cops at the Public Service Area 6 NYPD station that Obama was a follower of her Twitter account.
Oh, nice.
And however, the cops decided she was insane and then forcibly committed her to the Harlem Mental Hospital for 8 days. And guess what the fucked up part is? Obama really is following her.
No.
This is where our country has fucking gone. These police have carte blanche to do whatever they want. Like, look at the black sites they have in Chicago where they just took people to get tortured and just disappear them. I mean, right there, they're playing...
And the best part about it is they're getting set up. Didn't you just hear that the Supreme Court actually ruled against the Republicans' bullshit of trying to rezone again? Where they were trying to literally get all black neighborhoods in one small voting site.
Oh, God.
And then they were trying to get, like, these white neighborhoods where you'd have, like, a booth per every person that's in them.
Oh, coming from an up-class white neighborhood... From moving from, like, a low-income part of a neighboring town, I can tell the wait here is a lot quicker than in, like, the fucking shitty area I used to live in, which is mostly minorities.
Oh, yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I just laugh. And in all honesty, we've never really had too much line for voting because we...
Yeah, the longest I've ever had to wait was in St. Cloud, because Sauk Rapids got me through like that. Yep. But in St. Cloud, I think I waited like 15 minutes, and that was the funniest part, is because that was when I couldn't vote in St. Cloud, because I didn't have my updated license yet. I had my piece of mail and everything like that, because I had my utility bill. But I couldn't use the utility bill, because my license wasn't updated. So they were just doing the whole, well, you can't vote then. I was going, it says right here, my name, here's my license with my name and my picture. You should be able to put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
And come out with, I should be able to vote. But no, I couldn't because my license had a different address on it, and it was clipped. Because my new license was in the mail from me moving. So because it was clipped, they said that it was illegal for them to use that as a license.
Which is technically true, but
bullshit. Are you fucking kidding me? It was visibly me. It was my name.
But it's clipped. It's invalid.
Oh, that is such an utter bullshit. It really is. I understand it's invalid for things like driving. But I never understood why you can't buy cigarettes, why you couldn't buy liquor, why you couldn't use that. It just makes no sense. Even with the paper, it did not work.
Yeah, because me getting my driver's license revoked, how did that all of a sudden make me not 21?
What you have to do is you have to go there and get an ID.
State ID.
Yep, a state ID, so you can't have it clipped because they'll clip the driver's license, but they won't clip the state ID. So if you get a clipped driver's license, apparently it's not you anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Well, your straw man has just been decapitated with its head cut off.
Well, that was the best part is when I got out of jail the one time, I went to the first gas station. I was just like, I gotta get some cigarettes because they confiscated and took my cigarettes at the end. They said I couldn't have them back because it's contraband. They took my lighter and my cigarettes.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, I know.
That's my property, you fucking
Oh, and then that's the best part about it is I looked at him and I was like, I had 2 sealed packs of cigarettes, and then I had an open pack with 3 of them gone. And he goes, why'd you have so much? And I went, because they had the buy 2, get 1 free deal on. So I just bought them before I went to the bar. I already had 4 or 5 cigarettes, so I just opened that night. So I only had 1 or 2 or 3 out of it. So I know you had 2 full packs that weren't even open. Why can't I get those back? It's not like they were contraband. They were sealed. And he goes, no, you don't get anything back. And I looked down and was this like, how long has it been since you paid for cigarettes? You fucking douche. I bet you all fucking split them.
No shit.
That's what you're handing to the inmates using for currency?
For blowies.
Yep. Yeah, I was real pissed about that bullshit.
That is bullshit. I'm sorry.
But I couldn't even get new cigarettes on it. And I digressed on that one. Because I stopped at the first gas station. They told me that I couldn't use my ID because it was clipped. And I remember looking at it and I went, will it help if I cut half my head off? And the best part was it was clipped on the other side. I just wanted to say that to him to be like, did you even look at it or did you see the clip?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just...
Don't they give you papers to carry around to verify?
Not right after they clip it. You have to go back to the DMV and get an ID.
Oh, because you got a clip because of the infraction.
Yep.
Not because you got a new one.
Yeah, so I couldn't technically get it back until I had my court date. Yeah, I could go to the DMV and get a state ID made, which was funny because that still took 7 days to get. So I was out of court 2 days, and then I got my ID. So I couldn't really do anything for 5 days because I didn't have a fucking ID or any papers.
Oh, I remember that. We had to go to the bars that we were regulars at. So and that's when they used to sell fucking cigarettes in bars too, so you could buy a pack for like $10.
Yeah. No, it is. It's one of those things that they do just to control you a little bit more, make you more pissed off, and it can't have anything to do with, them knowing what's best for you. It's the whole shit of trying to control you. Once you're in the system, they control everything you do. Oh, exactly. And they'll even control you after you come out of the system. They say you've paid your debt to society.
Yeah.
And then you come out and you've got 8 years of probation that if you do anything, you go right the fuck back in for twice as long the next time. So it's one of those things where it's just once they got their hooks in you, you either have to become a saint for the next 2, 3, 4 years, or you're gonna get in trouble again. Because most people break 5 or 6 laws every fucking day.
Fuck, almost 5 or 6 felonies, I bet. The way this police state is set up. Jesus Christ.
I spit on a sidewalk last week.
Fuck, I played the trumpet with a duck on my head in the elevator.
Oh, snap, son. That's hardcore.
I know. That's almost a fucking 3-strike offense.
Yep.
Because that's how I get down.
Last dude that did that wasn't heard from again. Oh, kind of petered out on that.
Absolutely. Well, we should just call it for the week.
Oh, I can tell my joke.
Yeah, let's end it with a joke.
All right. So a guy walks into a bar. No, that's actually not it. He walks into a restaurant.
Okay,
That's
close.
better.
They just don't primarily serve.
I had to say it just because that's the whole.
Do they serve booze at this restaurant?
I don't know. That's not part of the joke, asshole.
Because it could. Be
I just had to say that because that's the classic.
Because it could be a bar and grill.
The second guy ducked. No. So a guy walks into a restaurant, and the waitress that comes up to his table happens to be the most gorgeous woman that he's ever seen. So throughout the course of his meal, he's trying to figure out a way that he can talk to her, and he just can't seem to figure it out. She ends up coming up and dropping off the check and saying, "You can pay that up front at any time you want. Have a good night." And as she's walking away, he panics and he goes, "I gotta find something to say to her, otherwise she's just gonna leave." So he goes, "Excuse me, miss." And as she turns around, the only thing he can think of is saying, $1 million. And she goes, "What?" And he goes, "If I pay you $1 million, would you sleep with me?" And she looks at him and goes, $1 million? "Yeah, I'd sleep with you." And he goes, "Okay. Well, how about $10? And she goes, $10? Who the hell do you think I am?" And he says, "Well, that's already been established. Now we're just haggling on a price."
Come the revolution.
Get it? She's a whore.